having so much fun. Many of us first fell in love with him as Clark Kent. He has since soared to even greater heights as both an actor and a producer, and he is now returning as host for the 6th season of Masters of Illusion. Welcome back, Dean Cain, and this is no magic trick. He is right here.
Yes, thank you. I'll have you know I wrote that intro for myself. The whole love thing was definitely important.
It was a really good one. So, Dean, let's talk about the show for a minute, because when we think of the traditional magician, we think, a man with a top hat and a big white mustache, if you will, pulling rabbits out of a hat.
Yeah.
But this is not that sort of show. In the 6 seasons you've been doing this, you have seen every sort of magician imaginable, haven't you?
And then some. But the magicians today are, first of all, we have magicians from all over the world, like 10 different countries. We've got them all through the United States and everywhere else. And they're a different breed than you've seen in the past.
Right.
They're, we've got Anna de Guzman, who's 20 years old and beautiful young girl that you would go, that's not a magician,
Wow.
We have the whole gamut of different kinds of people. Close-up magic, people who do things. They don't make the Empire State Building disappear, but because it's all done on stage. But they can do all sorts of different things, and we run the gamut. Magicians are no longer just the top hat guy. See the guy popping out of the ball there?
Wow.
Amazing. Now, I bet when you're on the street grabbing food or something, do people come up to you and start trying out their magic tricks and auditioning?
Well, first of all, let me just say I don't know anything about magic. I can't do any of it. I don't know any ways
how it's
the tricks
done.
are done. I have no clue. But anywhere I go, and I traveled to 23 countries last year, and anywhere in the United States or abroad, I'll be at an event or doing something, and then out of nowhere, someone's going to audition for me, and they'll just do a trick for me. A guy did it the other day. He's like, here, I want to be on the show. Here's my card. I was like, all right, thanks. I put it in I was like, because I hear it a lot, and he's like, we'll do a quick card trick here. We did a card trick thing. It was done, and I picked out a card and showed it around. He does a whole little thing, and this was your card. I was like, yeah, that was it. And he's like, okay, well, you mind giving me a call or email? Do you have my card? I was like, yeah, it's right here. He goes, look at the back of the card, and it was the card that I picked. And I was like, all right, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That stuff, they do that stuff.
Scares me.
They do that stuff all the time.
I think that's pretty neat.
That is freaky. Look at that.
I see that.
You constantly get chills.
I mean, that was smart of him, by the way. His business card and the card you picked all in one.
That one, I'm going to pass that one on to the producer.
Right. I mean, I think that's definitely a good one. Well, you, besides that magic trick, you experienced a real-life disappearing act very recently with your son, who disappeared to North Carolina to go to college.
It is so difficult, and I hear people talk about it all the time. My son and I, so I'm a single father. There we are in North Carolina. That's me saying, actually, that's the second time I visited him. He's only been there a month for a summer program, and I've been there 3 times. Is there something wrong with me?
Helicopter dad at all?
Helicopter dad, yeah, well, he's funny because he's having a great time. He's at High Point University in North Carolina. It's amazing.
A great school.
It's the most gorgeous campus I've ever seen, and the school is fantastic, and he is so happy there. He's so happy that, like, when I call him and text him, I don't even call him anymore because he won't answer. I'll text him. I used to get text right back. Now I don't get it for a day, 2 days. And so just before I came on here, he FaceTimed me. So we're about to roll, and I took the call.
The world stops now.
We talked to him. He's having a great time.
He's having a fantastic time. And as a parent, listen, I want him to do well in school. But the more important thing for him, this is a transitional time for him. This is for him to grow up. And I went to school. When I went to college, I was a young man, or a kid, really. And I graduated as a man, and that's the deal.
I was just going to say, you were at Princeton, and you were really a football star. I mean, that's an understatement. Your dad must have been proud of you, huh?
Well, my dad, I'm adopted, so I'm really fortunate. There's my dad. We took that yesterday. No, we didn't. That's not funny. There's no laughter there.
You still look the same.
Thank you.
You're still that fit.
Yeah, so I was adopted, and when I look back at my life, I'm so fortunate to have my father adopt me. I look back at my life at the toughest times and I was saying this to my dad just a couple days ago, the toughest times I ever had, I look up at those times, and my dad was there for me as a rock. And, he wasn't there all the time. He's a director. He was off making movies. But whenever I had trouble, he was there. At Princeton, I was thinking of leaving after my sophomore year, or in the middle of my sophomore year, because it gets really tough, and things were tough on the football team. And he was making a movie in Brazil, and he flew directly from Brazil to see my last football game of the year, and he had malaria, and look at there.
I mean, it all turned out okay.
Nothing
It all turned out well.
him.
Nobody came out there, and he was there with me, and that was one of the times I was like, look, I'm having a hard time here. And of course, I had a great game. I got carried off on the shoulders, I saved the game, and it was a wonderful thing. And I was like, Dad, you have to show up to every game now.
Right.
But he did. In fact, my family moved to Princeton for my senior year of my football season, so my entire family was there.
I mean, How awesome is that? You,
amazing.
number one, you went to Princeton. Can we just say that, which
Yeah.
is one of the most prestigious universities in America?
I was lucky.
And you were the star football,
Yes.
like, you know, captain.
Well, I wasn't the captain.
You
Well,
were
you
a
might as
tackle
well have been.
star.
That was Matt Whalen. Matty was the captain, and I would have been if we had two captains, but we only had one, so it was Matty.
Well, you did a very fine job, I'll
Yes.
tell
I
you
was
that.
very happy, thank you.
And you've really kind of lucked out in the dad department, whether it be in real life or your television dad on Lois and Clark. Eddie Jones, a character actor who was so phenomenal, and we unfortunately just lost a few weeks ago. What was it like working with him?
Well, Eddie Jones was amazing. First of all, it was great to have Jonathan Kent, alive, because in all the other iterations of Superman, Jonathan Kent passes away so early, and that's the end of it. So it was great for us because our show was different. It was about Clark Kent and how he grew up, and so Eddie played his father, my father, and it was so great to have those, because it mirrors my own life, those hard moments where dad is there to talk to you. It's great to have mom too, but I think, having the combination, having both, it's wonderful. So Eddie was such a gifted actor. He was so sweet and so funny and so kind, and he has done so many other roles other than obviously Lois and Clark. But I was very fortunate to have him as my television dad, and God bless him and rest in peace. Eddie was wonderful, and again, that was one of the things I think that made the show so special, is that Clark had his mom and his dad.
Right, because you'd never seen that before.
Yeah, and they really guided him.
You were lucky, but your son's really lucky. I like hearing
Yeah.
you talk about him and your time with your dad. I can tell how passionate you are.
Yes, I'm lucky. I have a wonderful family and a wonderful home. I have a wonderful home and family. How did that happen?
Well done, Dean. Well, I'll tell you what, you are a real-life superhero to us, 1,000%.
Cheers.
Love you, Dean.
Thank you.
All
you,
right,
guys.
now, unfortunately, he's going to have to disappear. But you can catch Dean in Masters of Illusions Friday nights at 8, 7 Central.